I mean, if I were to see my accountant wearing this, I'd be questioning.
Yeah, I take my money elsewhere. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Alex, this is
Karar.
Today we're going to take a closer look of 3 watches inside this watch roll. You have any clue?
Not really. I guess it's a Rolex.
Are you lying?
There must be a Rolex inside.
Let's have a look.
All right.
All right, guys. We have a trio of GMTs here.
Really lovely. So I see that we have the 2 new GMT Masters that Rolex released this year, both in steel.
Yes.
The Oyster Pepsi, the Oyster Batman, and a big boy. The
really heavy hitter.
The full rose gold root beer. I wanted to put my hands on one of these for quite some time. I own the what do you call it? Not a half-tone, the 2-tone version of the root beer, and
the little brother of this one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into it.
Yeah. I know you are more excited than me seeing these 2 Oyster steel versions.
I am indeed.
I was yawning a bit at the release of these watches this year and felt that, wow, is this really the best they have?
Yeah.
To reintroduce, at least for the Batman, the Oyster bracelet in the new reference, and
well, in sorts also for
the Pepsi.
Yeah.
For the Pepsi, it was reserved for the white gold version for many years.
Yeah.
And then they introduced the Jubilee bracelet version.
Yeah.
And then eventually along came the Oyster bracelet.
Absolutely.
So, Karar, what makes these pieces more exciting for you?
Well, I think, especially when you look at the Pepsi and the Batman, that has been such sought after watches for quite some time now. I actually bought the Batman,
the first Batman.
Exactly,
yeah.
The first reference. Yeah. And I bought it because I really liked the colors at that time, and I also loved the Oyster bracelet. But then for the Pepsi, I like the colorway of the Pepsi way better than the Batman, because I like the red aspect. It's bright and very colorful, mixed with the green. But I don't really enjoy wearing Jubilee bracelets like I like wearing Oyster bracelets.
You find the Oyster bracelet more comfortable, or the look of it? Or...
I think the aesthetics of the Jubilee bracelets talk to me more. I don't know, I just like the shine, I like the flat surfaces.
You mean the Oyster bracelet and not Jubilee?
Yeah, the Oyster bracelet. Yeah, that's what I meant. Exactly.
You were mind-f***ing me a lot there. You don't like the Jubilee.
Yeah, exactly. The Jubilee, I think, is a little bit too much for me. I enjoy the Oyster bracelet way more because of its flat profile, because of its shininess, and so on. On the downside, the Oyster bracelet gets scratched and worn out much faster and more visible.
Yeah, that's nice with the Jubilee, that you can actually beat the hell out of it, more or less.
Yeah.
Except for the clasp, that is more or less the same.
Exactly.
And yeah, but I mean, I must say, I said it earlier, but this is so boring for me that they do this, and I don't know.
I understand looking from the outside, like, okay, so here's this huge mammoth of a brand called Rolex, and their new release for the year is to swap up a bracelet, and it's making news. What the f is going on? Yeah. But for me, as a very much Rolex lover, I like the options that it gives, although these are extremely hard to get anyways. But to have the option to be able to go with the Oyster bracelet, I think that's a nice touch.
Yeah, I just don't see why they couldn't, when they introduced the new reference 126710.
Yeah.
In both bezel colorways, why they couldn't just let you have the option from the start and not do like this, that they upset people by just introducing it on the Jubilee.
Yeah, but I also think Rolex failed on 2 aspects here. The first aspect with the Pepsi putting it on the Jubilee bracelet, because it was pretty much reserved for the white gold version.
Yeah.
Although the white gold version had the blue dial, but that type of blue and this type of black, from distance, if you see it on somebody's wrist, you can't really tell a difference if somebody's walking by you. So that makes it a little bit harder, I think. I think from a tactical standpoint, it would be good for them to keep the Oyster bracelet reserved for the white gold version. But as an end consumer and probably somebody that will own one of these one day, I'd say I like the option to be able to put it on the Oyster bracelet. And the second fail, I think, is pretty much more obvious with the Batman. So they discontinue the old model that was on this bracelet, on the Oyster.
Yes.
And then they bring out the Batgirl that everybody likes to call it, with the Jubilee bracelet. And now they introduce it back with the Oyster.
Yeah, but I mean, for some reason it feels like if they have the Pepsi on Oyster, they can as well have the Batman on Oyster.
Back on Oyster, yeah. I think so too. But I think that's a little bit of fail. Actually, I also was kind of curious about what it did for the market value of the old reference, because as you know, when a Rolex watch gets discontinued, it just naturally happens that the price of that watch increases significantly over day, just on the news of being discontinued. So I thought, all right, so what happens with the Batman when they pretty much reintroduce the exact same looks? I mean, from looks perspective, the only thing that's changed here is the, well,
it's the crown at 6 o'clock.
It's the small crown at 6 o'clock. That's how you can easily and quickly see the difference between the old reference and the new reference. But also the new reference has an updated movement, obviously a lot going on under the hood. We're not gonna go into details today, but yeah, I think that aspect of bringing...
But tell me, what happened to the old Batman with the value when this one was introduced?
Exactly. So the value actually just kept going up for the old one, continuing going up, which is...
But how's do you know the value compared to the old one compared to the new one?
Yeah, exactly. So
market price wise.
So market price wise, you can get, so the new version is slightly above the older reference, both on Oyster bracelets. So the new one on Oyster bracelets are currently trading somewhere around $19,000–20,000 US, while the older version is trading approximately around $17,500–$18,000, $18,000. So this one is actually still perceived higher in value than the other one.
Yeah, and it makes sense for me if you look at the market, how it looks in general.
Yeah,
that updated watch that's technically much better.
Absolutely.
And that looks more or less exactly the same.
Yeah,
should be trading at a higher price.
Absolutely.
Discontinued or not.
Absolutely. And before we go over to the big boy here, the full rose gold GMT-Master Root Beer, let me say a big thank you to our sponsor today, Chronext. Chronext is a platform online that offers watches for watch enthusiasts. They have over 7,000 watches readily available, and they have multiple brands available, everything from Rolex, Omega, Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, you name it, and they have it. And furthermore, they also have a system where you can actually book a watch to a specific pickup point. You can try it on without any prior commitment, and if you like the watch, you can make the purchase and make the payment then. So make sure to check out Chronext. We will leave the link in the comment below, and use the code IFLW when you make your purchase for a discount.
Okay, finally we're leaving the kiddie watches in steel and go on to the big man's watch.
The big boy.
So
let's pop it out. Oof. It's heavy. It's super heavy in comparison to the other small guys. So this is the full rose gold Root Beer. A watch that I think doesn't get the attention it deserves online. You don't really see this one worn a lot. You don't see it on many social media channels either. How do you like the watch when you look at it like this?
I mean, I've been a fan of the little brother, the two-tone version of the Root Beer. Also the older Root Beers in both two-tone and full yellow gold. This is actually the first time we see a GMT Master in a full rose gold case and bracelet, which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
And I think this one is one of the maybe top 5, at least top 10 of Rolex full gold watches that they produce right now. And I mean, the colors blend in perfectly. The bezel black and brown with the rose gold case. It's a stunning watch.
Yeah, the whole mix, everything is just on color point, on tone.
Yeah.
It looks so warm to just look at, and
it feels so good in your heart when you have it on your wrist. You get a warm fuzzy feeling.
Okay, all right, guys. No, I really love this one. Obviously, I own the two-tone version that gets some wrist time. I really love it when I have it on. I actually use it more for special occasions, but this one, if I were to have this one would be certainly for very special occasions.
Yeah.
First of all, it is very heavy due to the fact that it is full rose gold. So in comparison to a steel version, I think this one is like 2 watches. So that's gonna be,
yeah,
you're gonna feel you're wearing something.
It's a workout for our chicken arms. To have this one on it for a full day, I mean, you probably have sore muscles afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you slightly increase the robbery risk wearing this one on a daily basis.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, but all in all, and also the fascinating part with this one that we should mention is that from a market perspective as well, these ones, full gold sports Rolex watch,
are on the rise.
Yeah. It's crazy, but that's the fact. And the fact is that this one is trading significantly above retail price as well. Retail price differs a lot depending on where you look around the world, but this is somewhere around $5,000 to $10,000 above retail price, depending on where you pick your retail price from, basically. So yeah, stunning piece, amazing piece.
We can understand it. I mean, yeah, this is I'd prefer it a bit smaller as always. Slim it down a bit.
Who would you recommend this for? What kind of occupation should they have to be wearing this as a daily?
Taxi driver.
You think a taxi driver should be rocking this?
It's a good question. Maybe this is.
I mean,
this is a mafioso type of watch.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to see my accountant wearing this, I'd be questioning.
Yeah, I take my money elsewhere. No, definitely. White collar crimes. This is a watch for warmer climate, beach.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
If you actually own this watch, please leave a comment below what kind of work you do. And if you wear it daily, I'd love to hear that. All right, guys. So that's it for today. 3 beautiful GMT Masters. We hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Thank you very much.
Ciao.